Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Cop Council. Hopefully, all of you are on a fantastic day. As always, of course, international footy is dead and buried. Thank God it's gone until March. I am thanking the Lord because, of course, proper footy is back, and of course, it is Liverpool versus Arsenal, third versus fourth, which may surprise a couple of people, I think. But of course, we will get on to that. We will talk, of course, about Arsenal and Liverpool. But of course, I am joined by two very special guests, two Arsenal fans. I'm outnumbered tonight, but I thought, why not? Let's get a few of the Arsenal lads on anyway. But first, we have Glenn. Glenn, how you doing, mate?
I'm absolutely good. I'm actually looking forward to the game. First time, literally, I've looked forward to this game since 2012, literally. So nice to be here again, Con, and work with you again, and nice to see Luca. Sure.
Absolute pleasure, man. And Luca, how you doing, mate?
Yeah, well, I'm very good, thanks, by the way. Thanks for having me on. Very nervous about the game at Anfield. Our record's very bad. So, thanks for having me on, man. I'm looking forward to it.
Absolute pleasure, man. And Helen's in as well. Thank you, Connor. I'm here. I know, Helen, you did say on Twitter you was going to be here. So hello. Hopefully you're on a fantastic day. But lads, let's get straight into it then. Of course, Liverpool, Arsenal, of course, at Anfield. It hasn't been such a good place for Arsenal over the last couple of years. I was looking earlier on, and it's like I think average goals is like Liverpool have scored 3 in the last like 5 or 6 games, which doesn't bode well for Arsenal, I would say. But looking at it, I was looking earlier on at Arsenal's results. I think you're unbeaten in 10, is it, or 11?
I'm beating 10 games, but 8 in the league.
Yeah, which is huge when you think about it, because just how Arsenal were after those 3 games. Watching fan reactions and watching just all the media around it. We all know, of course, it is a bit out there and that. But Glenn, coming to you first. What's happened with Arsenal? How has Mikel Arteta changed things at Arsenal?
I think, first of all, it's the squad that has changed. Because if you look at the Man City game where we were totally embarrassed, 5 goals, the players who started in that game compared to the players who are probably going to start tomorrow, there's 9 changes to that. Like the whole back line, the goalkeeper, the midfield, the likes of Partey are there at the beginning of the season. Our striking line, Aubameyang and Lacazette, they're all not there at the beginning of the season. So new signings as well. All 6 new signings have been fantastic. Maybe Odegaard not so much, but the other 5 have been really, really fantastic. So the first thing I'd say is the squad has literally changed. So compared to the other teams that have gone to Anfield before, none of those players are going to be here anymore. The likes of Bellerin and Kolasinac, they are there, Kolasinac and Holding, but none of them will play any part tomorrow. I think he has the tactics. I'm not sure about the tactics. There's still a few things that he does wrong, like substitutions and all that. But I think those new signings, you cannot blame them at all. They did say him and Edu after the first international break that we still need our players to build up with the rest of the team, to settle into the team. And we were like, nah, it's already 3 games, we're bottom of the table, but it has definitely worked. So I'd say the new signings and integrating into the team, the new signings. So I'd say that is the main point.
Yeah, that's interesting. And Luca, it's the fact that our Ramsdale's decided now to become a really good keeper, which I was watching that Leicester game and I was like, he was never this good for Bournemouth and Sheffield United. What's happened? But him, Ben White, they look solid in that defense. I know a lot of money, but of course you're going to get longevity out of them too. With being such a young age anyway. But would you agree with Glenn? That's been a huge change with Arsenal this season.
In my opinion. I think it's made a really good difference in those 10 games, because when we first signed Aaron Ramsdale and Ben White, I was thinking, right, okay, Ben White, decent signing, but not worth. I still personally, on this day, I still don't think he isn't worth 50 million. But since Gabriel's come into the team, I feel Ben White's actually feel very comfortable, and we've actually finally got a good pairing of centre back partnerships. And Ramsdale has made an absolutely change. He's proved everyone wrong. When we first signed him, I wasn't keen on him. I wanted Onana from Ajax. But Ramsdale, he's brilliant. He's absolutely brilliant. And what I like about our Ramsdale, he's very commanding on the ball. We haven't had a goalkeeper that probably for a very, very long time. And he's just come in. He's just jumped into the solution. He's jumped into the slot and ended up being the number 1 goalkeeper. And I think Leno's really under pressure. And Ramsdale, that save against Leicester a couple of weeks ago, that really made a very, very good turning point for Aaron Ramsdale. And he's very commanding on the ball. He's not afraid. And he's made such a good difference this season.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, I looked at the transfer myself, and I looked at it and I was like, wow, like out of all the options, I think that was there and getting talked about, it was like this keeper is, but he's a bit dodgy. And that especially after, like, of course, Chris Wilder had his comment, I think last week, saying about if he played like that for me,
Because
I
when we
might still
first
have been in
signed
the job.
him, I was thinking, like, why are we paying that sort of money where you could have actually got an Onana, keep Leno into the January transfer window, and then get rid of, because Onana was available. Yeah, he had a bit of a transfer ban, but we're in November now, so technically that's come very fast. So Onana would have actually been available if we actually would have got him instead of Ramsdale. But fair play, I've got to give credit to Edu and Arteta in that. Like, I'm not their biggest fan, but what I will say is they've actually pulled out a very good deal, and Ramsdale's worth the money. So.
Yeah, absolutely. Guys, let us know in the comments what your thoughts on Arsenal are so far this season. Helen says it's going to be a good tussle, I think, depending on who starts. Where the Fab trains today. Fabinho was in training, Helen.
He's fit.
So,
He's fit anyway. So
yeah, so that's pretty much guaranteed for us. Doug is in as well. Hello, Doug. Hopefully you're having a fantastic day, mate. But, guys, I was looking at the stats earlier, and Glenn, I'll ask you this. Looking at the stats, since that City game, Arsenal have conceded, we mentioned Ramsdale, have conceded 4 goals, but haven't scored that many this season. I think on XG, I think, and XG, you can take it one way or the other, but I think XG, I think Arsenal are about 13th at the league, and big chances created, Arsenal are 19th in respectively. Do Arsenal have to improve going forward? I know Lacazette, Aubameyang, they've been your main stars. I know, Smith Rowe and Saka, 2 phenomenal players and will be phenomenal players in the future. But do you think that the attacking element is missing from this Arsenal team at the minute?
I mean, you guys have scored 31 goals this season in the league. We have scored 13. I was looking at that yesterday. I was like, my goodness, we are only in 10 games in the season and you've already doubled our goals. So if you go like this, you'll probably score 100 goals by the end of the season and you'll only have like 40 something. So, and we also playing the same teams the season at the same time. I'd say obviously a few things. At the beginning of the season, yes, we didn't score in the first 3 games. We struggled against Norwich. Burnley, I think Burnley teams will struggle against Burnley. Not many teams will put 3 or 4 past Burnley. There are some games I was hoping for more goals, like Watford, for example, last time out. You should really have put 3, 4 past them. Aston Villa, when we score 2 or 3 goals, usually we settle and bring in El Neni instead of bringing in Martinelli to get a few more goals. Sometimes we go defensive instead of adding Pepe there. Let's try and get more goals. That's usually a problem. Odegaard as well, the person we brought in to create the chances, it hasn't really worked out for him. The games I expected him to shine. Apart from the Burnley game, the other games hasn't really worked out for us. Like Crystal Palace at home, for example, this is a game I expected Odegaard to dominate. It's a home game against, I wouldn't call them a smaller team because they've beaten literally almost all the big teams so far this season. But I'd say at home, you'd expect us to dominate, create more chances, which we haven't. To be fair, we scored goals against Leicester, Villa, Tottenham. So compared to the beginning of the season, we have improved. But I still think we are focusing on the defense too much. But listen, if we can focus on the defense and beat Liverpool 1-0, I will not be complaining at all, which is probably not possible. But I'd say Odegaard not living to expectations so far. Still kind of depending on the young players, Saka and Smith Rowe to get the goals. Aubameyang actually has, in all competitions, scored almost 10 goals already this season. Another thing is, if we get a penalty, please just let Lacazette take. Maybe if Lacazette was taking our penalties, we'd have had more goals this season. So I'd say a lot of different combinations of reasons, but those are the main ones. Odegaard not playing well, focusing on the defense. I'm not some big fan of XG. Yeah.
No, yeah, XG, you can go, like, I remember Burnley, not Burnley, but Brighton last year. Like, I think their XG was like 5th or 6th in the league, and of course they were, right there down by the bottom. But Luca, would you agree with that in terms of, I remember last year, Lacazette missing. I remember a game against us at Anfield where he missed the 1-on-1, and then he missed another 1-on-1, and I was like, yeah, the Arsenal need a striker.
You say that, when I look at that game, and I feel we lost that game 3-1, and if Lacazette would have squared that would have been a different game. That would have been 2-2. I think Lacazette. We need Lacazette in this game, and yes, there's rumours going around about his contract. I personally don't think he shouldn't sign a contract, but Lacazette, he has been a really good changer since he's came into the games, since we've been on this incredible run, and we need that kind of link-up play with Aubameyang. And I think we should play 2 up top tomorrow if we're going to cause a little bit of hope of problems in your defence. And I feel with Lacazette, we need that hold-up play. He's going to bring that kind of thing. And yes, Lacazette. Yes, sometimes there's games where I feel like he could be a little bit frustrating. And like what you just said, Conor, last season, should have squared that chance to Alisson, could have been a different game. But it's going to be interesting how Lacazette does. So,
yeah, I think this game, it'll be very dependent on, like the chat has said, about team selection. I think it's like you said, look, it'll be depending whether or not Arteta goes with a 2 up front to try and, because of course, me being a Liverpool fan, I can happily say
we're going to be playing 5 at the back against Liverpool, of course. But Arteta's going to be very defensive, and he's going to try and get a point at Anfield.
Well, that's the only way you can play against this Liverpool side. I think in that side of things, I don't think you can play, the press against Liverpool. Look at Manchester United when they tried to press us. We battered them 5-0, and we were in the press for 2.
How about a team like Brighton, though? What Brighton did to you guys?
I think that was practically our fault. I think Brighton are a good side. Don't get me wrong. I think they are very, very good. I think Liverpool, I'll get to that comment in a minute, but I think Brighton, we made it worse for ourselves in that game. And whether or not that's going to be the same against Arsenal, I don't know, because I think the international break, if this game was straight after the international break, I think Liverpool, before the international break, I should say, I think Liverpool would have been fuming from West Ham that enough that things would have changed. Right? But of course, the interruption of an international break, you don't know, because all the players are back on a Thursday or Friday. It's not, it takes time to gel and that. And me, a Liverpool fan, I know that Liverpool don't do well with international breaks. Anyway, we will talk about the Reds anyway in a moment. Doug says, I heard that Aubameyang is a doubt for Arsenal too. Be very interesting. Be very, very interesting. Maybe that's a good thing for, I think that's Arsenal. Helen says, so it's likely to be Fabs in the 6 with Keita and Thiago. We will get on to selection in a moment. Lacazette to start, maybe, says Helen. And Jones then with Thiago. Curtis Jones is out. He's got a weird eye injury at the minute anyway. But Luca, what's your thoughts been on Liverpool so far this season? Like Glenn said, Liverpool have been high scoring, high tempoed in some stages, but have been sloppy the last couple of games, especially against West Ham and Brighton.
I think Liverpool overall, I think they've had a really good season. Like, you pretty much won the league with this squad 2 seasons ago, and you went on a bit of a 25-game unbeaten run. My only issue with Liverpool is that since the likes of Virgil van Dijk have come back from an ACL, and I know it's very difficult to come back from an ACL, and I think Van Dijk's still one of the best centre-halves in the world, but I don't think he's not been the Van Dijk which he's been dominating. And the thing with Liverpool is like, you seem to do better away from home. Yeah, that West Ham blip was West Ham are a very good team now. So I think what Liverpool need to do is that they need to stop giving these silly goals away. And that's something which you need to improve a little bit. But I think Liverpool overall, like on the good side, I think you've had a great season. You're scoring goals. You've got the firepower. You know the quality of Liverpool. You've got Mane, Salah, Firmino, Jota. You've had Jota since into the team, and you've brought. But I think what Liverpool lack is squad depth a little bit. You don't really have yes, you've got the likes of Milner. You've got Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain. Players who are experienced, played for England and that, but you don't really have like what Chelsea have and Manchester City have. Yeah. You don't have something like that. And the thing with Liverpool is, like I was saying this on the 1892 Red podcast last night, and I was saying to him, the thing with Liverpool compared to Man United, you don't have a Bruno Fernandes. And I was saying that Liverpool don't need someone like that because you score goals from pretty much your front three. That's similar to Arsenal. We lack creativity, but now we've got Smith Rowe and Saka, are only 2 players who are carrying with us. And I still think we need a couple of midfielders in the January transfer window. But Aubameyang and Lacazette, we've relied on them lot to score goals, and we don't score enough goals. That's why we are relying on Smith Rowe and that. Whereas I think Liverpool you don't need to really score goals in midfield. You've got Salah, Bobby, Jota, Mane, on all them lot. But the thing is, you don't have someone in midfield like a Bruno Fernandes. You've got Henderson, Fabinho. You've got more defensive players.
Yeah, no, I absolutely get your point. And I think every Liverpool fan was like, that was the dream in the summer for us, was an attacker, like, you know, someone like a Jota that could help. Of course, AFCON is AFCON. I absolutely hate that thing. And of course, a midfielder. Of course, Gini Wijnaldum leaving, you go, Liverpool need a midfielder.
You need someone like that in the
transfer. Yeah, Harvey Elliott was that. Harvey Elliott, in my opinion, was destined to be that third or fourth midfielder of the season. And then, of course, unfortunately, you know, the ankle dislocation happened, and then, you know, all other injuries have happened.
It's like with Arsenal, we've been linked with the likes of Franck Kessie and that, and I'd personally take him in the transfer market. Like I was saying this to 8092 Red Podcast yesterday, and what players we need. We need, to me, in my opinion, I don't know what Glenn thinks as well, but we need two midfielders in the transfer market. Odegaard, I don't rate, in my opinion. I think he's, yes, the positive thing I will say on that, we bought him on a good cheap. We didn't go out and waste money on big money. We should have got someone like a James Maddison or an Aouar. I think we should get someone like a Kessie in the January transfer window. And Bazuma would be a dream, but I don't think that isn't going to happen. So realistically, I'll go and get someone like a Kessie or Bruno Guimaraes from Lyon. An attacking midfielder we need in the transfer window, whether that will be an Aouar or someone even better. I still think we need those type of midfielders. We need someone like a Cazorla type that's going to be consistent every single week. Like Odegaard doesn't get a lot of games. And yes, Smith Rowe has been carrying us. That's good, but that's brilliant. But if we pick up a Smith Rowe, we don't have anyone decent who's going to score goals. And that is my only worry. So,
well, Glenn, first of all, your thoughts on Liverpool, and do you agree with Luca in terms of Arsenal and transfer window wise?
So with Liverpool, at the beginning of the season, my predictions, I did hear some people saying Liverpool finish outside the top four, and I was like, "What? I don't think so." So I did put City first again, and I think I'd say Chelsea and Liverpool probably finish on the same points or something crazy like that. It's only going to be separated by goal difference. I did expect you guys to bounce back from last season, because last season, especially that time, you were losing to Fulham at home, to Burnley at home. It was surprising for everyone. This season, obviously, you have your fans back at Anfield. You all know how important it is to you, as your intro says, Will You Never Walk Alone, with you guys singing into the beginning of games. I did expect you still to finish in the top three and to do well. The goals have really surprised me, though. You're scoring a bunch of goals. The 5 against Porto, I think the 3 against Atletico Madrid. Salah has been magnificent this season. I think if it wasn't for Lewandowski, I think he should be the favorite to win the Ballon d'Or. I think Lewandowski does deserve it, though, because he's been doing it for years and never really been mentioned. So I think one of the two should be winning it. Salah has been magnificent with the goals. Jota, as always, he's been getting involved. I see him scoring headers, tap-ins, rebounds. He scores from every angle. Luka did say about Van Dijk. I do think Konate hasn't played every single game, but he has been okay. Trent, again, was one of my favorite right backs. I think when England beat San Marino by 10, I don't know how many assists he had. Like, every goal that was going in, it felt like it was a Trent assist as well. So I love that in terms of you guys scoring goals and being able to create from the right wing. And I know you'll come to the formations, and Luka doesn't probably want a back 5. I would go for back 5. Maybe because I'm scared of Trent and Salah on that side. I don't want to put them up against Tavares by himself. Tavares is new, so Trent bombs forward so many times. So for Liverpool, I'd still expect you guys to battle it out with City and Chelsea. Maybe, again, the only problem is bench, maybe, and also a bit of consistency. Last season, Doug did mention to me that you had like 23 or 24 different centre-back partnerships. Today it was this one and this one. Tomorrow, Van Dijk at the beginning of last season, so many different partnerships. I think this season is a bit of midfield. Keita is playing today. Keita is being subbed off tomorrow. Thiago is available today, is not. Curtis Jones is today. Elliott is playing here today at the beginning of the season. And Hendo is available. He's injured. Like, I think if you can get 3 of them to consistently play like even 10 games in a row, I think you can create a foundation there. Like last season, I'm still surprised he let Wijnaldum go. I think it was very, very good for me. I think him, Fabinho, and Henderson created such a good midfield.
I think it's a whole roller coaster with that Genie Wijnaldum situation. Apparently, he wanted 200k a week more in bonuses and that, and yeah, I don't think FSG were willing to do that anyway. Mo Salah's contract's still up in the air, and he's the best player in the world, in my opinion, at the minute. Maybe Lewandowski, yeah, he does deserve it. He didn't win it last year because they cancelled it last year, if I'm correct. In that. Yeah, it's stupid, but yeah, them two are the best in the world at the minute anyway. But I gotta agree with kind of what Lucas said. Concerning Virgil, look, for me, I think Virgil van Dijk at 50% is still the best centre back in world football. At the moment, I think yes, I would agree. Van Dijk doesn't look what he did back in when he was in contention for the Ballon d'Or, but I think he's getting there because I can't think of a time. Yes, we lost 3-2 to West Ham, but I can't picture myself anyone beating Virgil yet. I know there's been a moment, I think, with maybe Bernardo Silva when he was, doing his little Messi dance and that, like, for City. But that's like the only time I think this season. I think apart from that, he's looked. Every single time someone's gone near him, they've just completely deflected off of him, or they've not wanted to go anywhere near him. To be fair,
what about Alisson? What about the goalkeeper? Obviously, last season he had the problem with his dad and everything, and that Leicester game, the Leicester game this season.
Yeah, I look at it. Look, goalkeepers they make mistakes, and they out of everyone, goalkeepers harshly get criticised. Look, that first goal, it could have gone either way. The Premier League referees at that, backwards and forwards, could have been given as a foul, could not have been given as a foul. My opinion, Ali should have done better. And I think if you speak to most Liverpool fans, I think pretty much everyone will say that he should have done better. In this game in particular, I don't think Arsenal can offer the same threat in terms of, heading ability, then you should say.
I mean, we have scored the most corners this season, by the way.
True, but it's the height. I don't like Arsenal for me. They don't have anyone that's like you look at them and you go, "Oh Christ, he's tall," or anything like that. Like a West Ham.
You make a very good point, Connor. And the thing is, I've said this to people. We've been linked with Calvert-Lewin in the January transfer window, and we need someone like that. We haven't had someone like a fox in the box, someone in the air that's going to be very tall. Like you look at Manchester United, they've got Edison Cavani. Yeah, he's old, but still, you've got someone in the air. We need someone like that who's going to cause people and cause defender problems. Like when we used to have someone like an Olivier Giroud. If we can get someone like a Calvert-Lewin in the future, or even someone good, better than that, it would be really good to benefit because we need a striker in the transfer market because Aubameyang's going to be going to the African Cup of Nations in January. So we need a striker who's going to really cause problems in the transfer window, and whether that's going to be whoever it's going to be. So,
well, like I said, I think you are missing that person, to be honest, and I think that is where I think maybe Arteta might look at someone like you need that threatening person in the box. Then, like for us, it's Van Dijk. Chelsea, they've got Lukaku, they've got Rudiger, they've got so many people. City, to be fair, but Laporte and Diaz maybe, but then I don't think they are the best in the air.
West Ham are the most dangerous though. Wow,
they are.
I'd hate to be West Ham at the moment.
Yeah, I'm glad that's over for us, to be fair, even though it ended the wrong way. John's saying, hi guys, hope you are well. Hopefully you're having a fantastic day, John. Saying hi to Helen as well. Devils United saying hi, Luca. Hey, Connor and Glenn. Hello. Hopefully having a fantastic day. And then, of course, Doug saying hi in the group as well. But moving on then to starting 11s then. Glenn, I know you said 5 at the back. Is it going to be 5 at the back for Arsenal tomorrow?
I mean, he could decide to go with what majority wants, just stick with the back four. It's been working, don't change it. That is okay. I wouldn't have any major problem if he goes to that. The only issue is Tavares has been playing well this season. I'm replacing Tierney on that side. So do you just drop him to the bench and you bring back Tierney? That would be fine because Tierney is the most expensive left back we have. But it's Salah and Trent. Salah, player of the month. The previous month, he should really have won player of the month as well instead of Ronaldo. That should have been 2 months in a row. A hat-trick at Old Trafford. Silly goals. Does not even care about this player's family. Look at that goal against Man City and Watford. does not care about those players and their families at all. Just rip them apart totally. So I don't want that to be happening against Tavares, because if that happens to Tavares, then you'll hear about, I told you guys you shouldn't be signing this kind of players. You guys have been hyping up Tavares, all the rival fans and everything. I don't want that. So I want two of them on that side, Tierney and Tavares, to try and keep quiet if it's possible. Salah and Trent a bit. Trent does put in so many crosses. Like last season at the Emirates, he put in that cross for Jota to give you guys the lead. He's done that before for Robertson's goal against us again 2 years ago. As you said, it's 3 goals per game, so it's mania. I know it's so many goals. So I'd play that as a back five. Those two on the left side, Tavares as the left wing back, Tierney on the left side of the centre backs, and then Gabriel and Ben White, who've been fantastic, and also Tomiyasu. Another reason for playing the back five is Ben White. Look, I'll tell you, last week when we played against Watford, the goal he scored from Smith Rowe, it was Ben White intercepting in midfield and pushing forward. He did that several times. So if you have a chance of him doing that, that could be good because he can pick out a pass. If he pushes forward and let's say you guys nick the ball, at least you still have 4 defenders behind him. So that's another reason I want the back five. And then midfield, I hear Partey is fit, so that would be a huge bonus because I don't think I trust Niles and Lokonga up against your experienced midfield. So I'd go with Partey and Lokonga, and then in front of them, Smith Rowe, Saka, and Aubameyang. So I know Luka wants Lacazette. I wouldn't drop Lacazette, I'll just sacrifice him. I'll use the word sacrifice because drop is when you haven't been playing well. But I really want that pace up front because such games, Liverpool might have the ball and we might need to counter sometimes. Lacazette could hold up the play better than Aubameyang, but it depends on which kind of result you're looking for. If you're going for a 0-0, you can play Lacazette to hold up the ball and just relax. If you want to get a goal or two, then Aubameyang's pace could help us against Matip, and Trent being up front and Robertson being up front, leaving spaces. We would probably need that space, so I'd go for that as my 11.
Very, very interesting. Luca, what would be your team for tomorrow?
The thing is, it's going to be interesting how Mikel Arteta sets out, and away from home, we've actually improved, and how he set it out. My lineup will be Ramsdale in goal. He's going to go 5 at the back, but I'd probably go with 4 at the back. I would go with Tomiyasu, Ben White, Gabriel, Tavares. I know people are saying, would you play Kieran Tierney in this game, a super fit Kieran Tierney? But I feel the form Tavares is on. You've got to go with the same team. Midfield, I'll go with Partey, Lokonga, Smith Rowe, and then Saka, Lacazette, and Aubameyang. I'd go with that team and hoping for the best. Arsenal can get something out of the game, and it would be interesting how Arteta sets out. I think he's going to go with 5 at the back. I think he's going to be very defensive and he's going to try and play for a point.
Yeah, well, it is going to be interesting. Like we said earlier, I think Mikel Arteta's team selection will, I think, make an outcome for this game, I would say anyway. But, I think the main person for you, I think, is the key part is Partey. I think if he's fit, he absolutely transforms that team anyway. But guys, for Liverpool, no Curtis Jones, no Naby Keita. Them two look to be out for the game anyway. It's a shock. But of course, Jordan Henderson and Andy Robertson, they are late calls for us. Jurgen did say today that both of them will be late tomorrow.
They're going to play. They're going to play. It's Arsenal.
Yeah, they're going to play. Keita especially.
I don't think so. Keita's not. Keita and Jones are not. They're totally out.
Yeah, they're out.
We're not Ole Gunnar Solskjaer that says De Gea's injured.
Like people were saying, our fan base was getting a little bit gassed and saying that, oh my God, Mane could be out, Henderson could be out, it could be all like curtains, and I mean they already have Salah, Jota, and Divock, and I knew Mane would play.
Well, this is the team that I'm going for. Well, I think we'll play anyway if everyone is fit. Of course, Ali in goal, Trent, Joel Matip, Virgil van Dijk, and Kostas Tsimikas, of course, playing for Andy Robertson. I think Tsimikas has been fantastic this season for Liverpool when called upon. Fabinho, Jordan Henderson, I think, will play. And of course, Thiago Alcantara as well. And then Sadio Mane, Diogo Jota, and Mohamed Salah. I'll ask Luca first. When you see that team, is it frightening?
It is frightening as an Arsenal fan, but it is really frightening because as an Arsenal fan, as a perspective, it's quite worrying how we're going to stop the likes of that front three, like Salah, Mane, Jota, and they're world-class players. And I know West Ham stopped them. Liverpool would want to bounce back in this game at Anfield. They want to get back into the title challenge because Chelsea are on good form. Man City are there and abouts. And it's quite frightening for Arsenal. And like I said, going into this game, we have to keep you lot quiet. We have to, maybe if we can keep it 0-0 in 20 minutes, then that could be an interesting game. But we've got to make sure you don't score. We've got to try and hope for the best. We can get a point out of this game. Hopefully we can get luck. And the thing is, right, if we can try and stop Salah and Mane on those wings, and if Tomiyasu and Tavares can have it, it's going to be interesting how Tavares steps up against Salah, because Tavares has been very, very, very good, and hopefully he doesn't turn out into a poor game, and we're going to be regretting thinking we should have played someone like a Kieran Tierney, like a fit Kieran Tierney. He would be up for it, but it's going to be interesting on when Mane and Salah down those flanks against the likes of Tomiyasu, and hopefully Tomiyasu doesn't have a nightmare game against the likes of Mane and Salah. But Liverpool's team, when you look at that, it's very frightening. Like Thiago is going to be another problem, especially he'll bring that creativity. And I think Thiago overall, I don't think he's not been the best since he's joined Liverpool, but I think he has got a little bit better now since he's come back into the team. I think he's going to bring quite a lot of creativity, and it's going to cause quite a lot of problems.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And look, I think Liverpool have been at their best when Fabinho and Thiago have started. I don't think Liverpool have ever lost a game when them two have started in midfield and stayed in midfield together. So it's going to be very, very interesting. But Glenn, what's your score prediction for the game?
Putting me on the spot.
I have to.
I mean, looking at those results, 5-1, 4-0, 3-1, 5-1, okay, the one thing that is always we always get in this game is a lot of goals. Like since the Xavi and Gerrard days, it's been goals, 4-4s, 3-3s. Benayoun scoring against us. It's been a nightmare at Anfield. I'm gonna go positive because the defense we have is different from what we've had. We've had the likes of Mustafi falling down, Firmino passing and scoring hat tricks. We've had Kolasinac not being able to defend. We've had Socrates, Leno, a couple of mistakes here and there. So I'm going to go for a positive 2-2. Obviously, there's a chance you guys could beat us. That the most realistic one is you guys beating us 3-2. That could happen. But I'm going to go for a 2-2. I don't think we'll win. If we do that, we'll be that. If we win this game, I think we'll win the league. Nah, I'm joking. But this is a serious game. We haven't won there since 2012. I'm going to go for a 2-2. But even if we lose 2-1 and we lose even 3-1, depends on how you lose 3-1. Because as Lucas said, the first 20 minutes, usually we score fast at Anfield, and then by the 20th minute, you're 3-1 ahead. Game over. I don't want that. I want, if it's 3-1 where there's different 3-1s. There's a 3-1 where you just slap us 3 goals in the first half and then you just take your foot off the pedal and you feel sorry for us. There's that 3-1. But there's a 3-1 of, we were 1-1 until the 70th minute, and then you guys got a corner and then you scored. And then while we were trying to attack in the final minute, you countered attack and you got another goal. There's that 3-1. So even if you beat us, I want to see a performance, but I'm going for a 2-2.
Yeah. Okay. Luca, what are you going for, mate?
The thing is, I said this yesterday on the 1892 Red podcast, and I want to try and show a bit of optimistic going into this game, and hopefully Arsenal turn up and finally get a result at Anfield. It's about time we actually get something out of this game. Getting on to the game, I'm not confident going into this game whatsoever, but if Mikel Arteta can obviously play the right team, try and have a bit of luck. If we can keep quiet for the first 20 minutes, maybe I'm going to be positive, but I'm not confident at the same time, but I'm going to be positive and get behind my team. I think we can get a draw out of this game. I think we look a bit different now. Ben White's come in. Yeah, his price tag's a bit over the top, but that's the English tax. Ramsdale hopefully can be a leader and organise the defence. I think Gabriel looks absolutely immense. If we can get the performance what we did against Leicester in that first 20 minutes, I think we've got a brilliant chance of getting a point. I am going to go for a 2-2 draw. I think Liverpool will score first. We'll equalise. Then I think Liverpool will go 2-1 up, and then I think we'll snatch a point. So I think Arsenal are going to show a bit of fight tomorrow. and hopefully, fingers crossed, we don't get slapped. And what Glenn said is absolutely right. I just hope we don't go 1-0 up, say, for example, like the 11th minute, and then 3 minutes later, they equalise Liverpool, and then we just completely switched off. We have to change our game. We've got to show this mentality. We can't go into this game bottles. If you want to get into the top 6 or top 4, these are the kind of games where you feel like you've got to step up against the big boys. And I know a lot of people say, yes, we're not ready against the big boys, but it's about time we get something at Anfield. It's about time Arteta and the players actually prove to me, because I'm not Mikel Arteta's biggest fan, and but it's about time we go there. But I'm going to be positive. I'm going to be going bold. I'm going to go for a 2-2 draw, man.
Very, very interesting. I think what you guys have said is absolutely correct. I think the big threat for Liverpool is don't let what happened at Brighton happen again. Because, of course, Liverpool being 2-0 up and then just switching off and then giving Brighton the opportunity to realistically should have won the game. You know, I'm not going to hide it behind it. Brighton should have won. I am going to go for the 3-1, which is the most obvious answer for Liverpool. I think
realistic scoreline I would personally go for.
Yeah, I think looking at it, I think Liverpool, especially with what happened against West Ham, you know, the amount of things that happened in that game, and Liverpool still only just lost, which I just show. For me, it shows that Liverpool, even at their worst, can still win games, even though we did lose. But because there were so many opportunities, Mane could have scored from 2 open chances, missed, and so forth. And I think, of course, this international break would have pissed off Jurgen Klopp from today's press conference. I think he said that he was absolutely fuming by it. But I am going to go 3-1.
As long as you don't do us like you did United. By the way, thank you for that result. We all enjoyed it. We all enjoyed that game.
I know Arsenal fans needed it a lot more than Liverpool fans, even though it was nice for everyone, to be fair. But no, look, guys, thank you so much for coming on. Glenn and absolute pleasure, man, and Luca as well. I know the guys do have their own shows to do as well. Guys, please go and subscribe to these lads in the video description down below. Be very much appreciated as always. I'm hoping for Arsenal, us to batter Arsenal, but a friendly way anyway, a nice friendly way, and not as much as Manchester United. As long as we get 3 points, I'll be happy anyway. But guys, thank you so much for tuning in. If you have enjoyed them, please feel free to leave a like. It'd be very much appreciated. As always, don't forget to hit that subscribe button as well. It's very confusing when you have to say so many things at once. But guys, thank you so much for tuning in. We'll be back, of course, tomorrow for a post-match reaction for the game. But thank you to Luca, thank you to Glenn as well. And guys, we will see you tomorrow for a post-match. You have all to Rarit.